If you want to reduce operational effort in your consultancy when helping your clients implement ISO 27001, then this video is for you. So I'll show you how Conformio ISO 27001 software or GRC tool works. I'll also show you what are specific features that are developed for consultants, and I'll also show you how this kind of a software can help you overcome some challenges that your consultancy might have. So after you watch this video, you'll have a clear idea on how to shorten the duration of your projects, but also how to reduce the costs for your consultancy when delivering this kind of a project. And you might wonder, why would you need this kind of software in the first place? And basically, if you already have a consultancy and if you already have a fair number of clients for ISO 27001, then this kind of a software enables you to scale your business without actually growing the number of your employees, because the same number of consultants will actually be able to serve more clients. On the other hand, if your consultants do not have enough experience with ISO 27001, this software will enable you to actually enter this area in a much quicker way, because the software is made in such a way that it actually leads you through all the steps in the implementation, so that some large experience with the standard is not needed to start using it. And the easiest way to think of Conformio is as a consultant accelerator. So let me now show you how it works. Okay, so this is typically what you would see first once you log into your client's account. So you'd see these implementation steps for your client. And basically you'll see that there are something like 30 or so steps, and they are divided into 4 phases. So the first phase is this project preparation. As you'll see here, you have the project plan, requirements, scope, top level policy, and so on. In the second phase, you have this risk management with defining the methodology, doing the risk register and statement of applicability. And then third phase is writing security documentation. So all kinds of policies and procedures, including access control policy, disaster recovery plan, and so on and so forth. And then fourth phase is about preparation for the certification audit. This is actually where you help your clients get prepared for stage 1 and stage 2 audit. Of course, this needs to include the internal audit, management review, these kind of things. And then you'll see that here is also the fifth phase, which basically happens after the certification. This is where you actually can help your clients maintain their ISMS, and I'll show this in a minute. So why is this step-by-step approach important? Because first, it enables you to actually start using this tool very quickly with a minimum of training. So you'll need maybe 1 or 2 hours of onboarding to actually fully start using the whole tool. And second, if your consultancy has a couple of consultants, it's very easy to track actually for each of your projects what is your status. So you'll see this from a single dashboard, and very easy to actually track the work of several people. Okay, once you open a particular step, then you can actually start using this document wizard. So this is the template that is already built into Conformio, and where you can use this particular wizard here to fill out everything that is needed. So the wizard actually takes you through all the items, all the placeholders where you have to adapt the documents for a particular client, and it already suggests you lots of things that you can fill out. Have you already defined the project plan? So let's say yes. What is the name? Let's say it's not project plan, but a project charter. And as you can see, this is already automatically filled out in the document itself. So when you go next, here you can actually see which processes and services you want to include in this ISMS scope already. There are several different items that are suggested here. Of course, you can change anything and write something that is specific for you. So let's say manufacturing process and so on. So basically you go through this wizard, and it helps you fill out the whole document much more quickly than if writing this on your own. Now, some people are afraid, is this good enough for a certification auditor? And all of these documents were created actually by certification auditors. So people who know very well what the certification auditors are looking for. And this documentation is already used by thousands of companies who went for certification. So we are pretty confident that these documents will be accepted at the certification audit. And you can also take a look at a case study about this company by Omni that used Conformio and went through the certification within 6 months. So you can actually read this case study on Advisera website. Assessing the risks and treating the risks is usually one of the tasks that takes most of the time at the project, and this is where this risk register really speeds the things up. So basically here you have the identification of assets, vulnerabilities, and threats. First, you actually have this catalog of all potential assets that you might have. So you see here IT communication equipment, software and databases and so on. So there are some other categories as well, and you can always add a new asset if you don't find the one that is listed here. And then you simply click next to go for the vulnerabilities. And then what you can see is actually that Conformio suggests automatically vulnerabilities that might be related to any assets that you have selected in the previous step. So what you have to actually do is simply interview your client on assets and then ask them if these vulnerabilities are relevant, and then simply click next to move on and do the threats in the same way. So again, Conformio suggests what are the most appropriate threats for this combination of assets and vulnerabilities. Of course, you can always add any new threat if the client thinks that this is not listed already. So again, it can really be done in a quick way. You can even share the screen with your client and actually go through all of these screens together and finish this up in let's say a couple of hours instead of a couple of weeks. And then when you go for a statement of applicability, that actually all of this information from the risk register is automatically inserted here into a statement of applicability. So all the relevant risks that are related to particular controls are listed here already. Not only this, Conformio will also suggest you what kind of documents you have to write for a particular control, or some, let's say, activities that you have to perform. And as you actually close all of these activities, it also changes the status of each control. So all of these things are automated. And as you go through these documents and create particular responsibilities for particular people, then Conformio will automatically create tasks for all of these things. Same things when you assign some tasks in a statement of applicability. So all of these tasks are actually generated here in the responsibility matrix. So it's very easy for your consultants to see exactly what they have to do next in the project, and also what is expected from your clients to do next. So it's very easy to organize the project. Once your client is closer to certification audit, then you'll start using this audit and evidence module more often. And here you will actually see all the documents that you created. So basically this is more about stage 1 audit and checking out if everything is completed for stage 1 audit. And here you will see for each and every document what is the status, who is the owner, what are the relevant clauses, and so on. So it's very easy actually to get an overall picture of where your documentation stands. Of course, you can see the details of each document by clicking here and open document, and then you'll see the whole document open here, and you'll see everything that is written in this document. Now in the second tab, clauses and evidence, this is more about preparation for stage 2 audit, and here you see an overview of all the clauses and all the controls from the NXA, and you actually see exactly what is the status. So here for, let's say, 8.6, you will see that some controls are ready, whereas some controls are not applicable or not ready. And then you can take a look at exactly what needs to be done and so on. So when I click here, more details, you will see exactly the explanation of what this control requires. It also defines the implementation method, and it also shows you what is completed and what is not yet completed, and basically why this task or why this control is still not ready for an audit. Okay, let's pick some other example. So let's go here for, let's say, clause number 7 and go for this clause 7.2 competence. Here you will see that this one is ready, a training plan and record. Of course, you can also open it here. And if you want, you can also add some evidence here. So for example, if you have some training records that you want to upload, it's very easy to upload them here, so that once the certification auditor comes, it's much easier to find all the evidence. Now, Conformio does add evidence automatically, the evidence that actually Conformio creates. Any kind of record created directly by Conformio is automatically added to relevant clauses and controls here in Conformio. Now, once your client completes the certification, then they actually need to start this maintenance of the ISMS, which is typically in these cycles of 3 years because of the validity of the certificate. Conformio shows you all the major milestones that need to be done, as well as all the major steps. So here you have these recurring activities as well as continuous activities. So basically you have two options, right? One option is to simply leave client to handle maintenance through Conformio on their own, or the other option is actually for you to offer them this service so that you can actually help them maintain their ISMS for them. Okay, let me now show you some features that we developed specifically for consultants. So this dashboard here is the main feature for consultants, because what you actually can do here is display all of your clients in one single dashboard, so that you have the control over what everyone is doing in your company and the status for all of your clients. Now, what you can see here is in this dashboard is is only one client, this Acme company, but you can add as many as new clients as you want. So imagine that you have, let's say, 5 consultants in your company and that you are handling, let's say, 25 clients at the same time. Having all of this information in one dashboard is very useful because you have a clear overview of how far did you go with, let's say, the number of documents, the number of clauses, number of controls. So you have all the major information for each and every client basically in one glance. Also, what we developed for consultants is the ability for them to actually add their own logo so that the clients are seeing their logo, not Advisera logo. But interestingly enough, not many consultants are using this. Most consultants are actually preferring that their clients see that this is a software developed by Advisera. Let me also mention a couple of main things that we will develop in the future. So first of all, besides ISO 27001, we'll be adding other main ISO standards, and we'll also cover some other cybersecurity frameworks that are not directly related to ISO standards. Regarding languages, we already cover English and German, and we will be adding other major languages in the future. So basically, Conformio can resolve 5 major challenges for consultants. The first one is that you don't have to spend so much time on writing new documents, controlling versions, updating them, and so on. So Conformio speeds up these things considerably. The second thing is that it speeds up also this risk register and statement of applicability, because it suggests you all of these assets and threats and vulnerabilities, and also moves all this information automatically to statement of applicability. So again, a huge time saver. The third problem that you can resolve is that you can actually make your consultancy more competitive, because some clients are actually deciding to go for these big GRC solutions like Vanta or Drata and many others. And the thing is that most of these solutions actually cost at least $5,000 or euros per year, in some cases above 10,000 or 15,000. And because Conformio is specifically oriented towards smaller consultancies, it is priced lower than those competitors. So this means that you can actually quote your client and say, look, I'm going to include in my price both the service and the software, and it's not going to cost you much more than, let's say, Vanta or Drata. The fourth way how Conformio can help you is that it can enable you additional revenue streams. For example, you can offer a new service towards your clients where you will actually maintain their ISMS, their information security management system, and you can use Conformio to show you actually all the tasks that you have to perform as part of this maintenance service. And the fifth way on how Conformio can help you is by enabling you to quicker onboard new consultants. So either if your old consultant is leaving and then you have to hire a new one, or if you simply want to increase the number of consultants, when you have a software which takes you through all the steps, it's much easier to actually bring a new person in. So to summarize, consultants that are using Conformio can actually perform more projects per year using the same number of consultants. They have a higher win rate with their clients because they're offering additional benefit within their price, and they're able to extend their service to some other things like maintenance, maybe even internal audits and so on. So most consultants that are using Conformio are either solo consultants, or these are consultancies of, let's say, 10 or 20 employees. And one of these consultancies is a company called Isologic from South Africa, and you can see my conversation with their CEO Armin Schwarzrauber in another video. You'll find the link in the description below. Okay, hope this was helpful, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this Conformio for consultants, and I'll answer as quick as I can. And to get access to this free trial of the Conformio for consultants, please schedule a call with our product expert, and he'll show you how to use it and then open you the access so that you can try out all these features for free. See also my next video, which shows what other consultants are saying about Conformio. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel not to miss any of my new videos, and I publish videos about compliance and cybersecurity every week. Thanks for watching.